Konnichiwa! This time we'll talk about Japan. Japan is an island nation in East Asia, located in the Pacific Ocean. It borders China, North Korea, South Korea, Russia, Taiwan, the Sea of Japan, and the East China Sea. It is an archipelago of 6,852 islands, most of which are mountainous and many are volcanic. Japan is a fascinating country of economic and business prowess, rich culture, technical wizardry, spatial conundrums and contradictions. Japan held onto the title of the world's second largest economy for more than 40 years from 1968 to 2010. Japan is known for everything from onsen hot springs and kabuki baths, dating to the 6th and 16th centuries respectively, to all-night neon-lit dance parties, anime and sushi boat restaurants, all of which are decidedly more modern. Japan is known worldwide for its traditional arts, including tea ceremonies, calligraphy, and flower arranging. The country has a legacy of distinctive gardens, sculpture, and poetry. Japan is home to more than a dozen UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and it's the birthplace of sushi, one of its most famous culinary experts. Common themes found throughout Japanese culture include a sense of identity based on social groups and place of birth, a polite and humble style of communication, a pragmatic approach to situation and challenges, as well as an appreciation and enjoyment of artistic activities and forms of entertainment. Japanese people always display modesty and humility. People often bow to convey the message, "I am not above you. I respect you." Bowing longer with a higher degree of angle means more respect. In Japan, some of the core values are thinking of others, doing your best, not giving up, respecting your elders, knowing your role, and working in a group. These concepts are taught explicitly and implicitly from nursery school into the working world. In Japan, they have their tradition and culture. The main difference between culture and tradition is that traditions describe a group's beliefs and behaviors that are passed down from one generation to another, while culture describes the shared characteristic of the entire group which has been amassed throughout its history. Now, we will show you the wedding ceremony in Japanese culture. There are two basic types of wedding ceremonies. One is Western style, usually held at a Christian church or wedding hall. Two, Japanese traditional style called Shinzen, normally held at a Shinto shrine or Buddhist temple.
"まだこの世界は僕を飼いならしてたいみたいだ」「望み通りだろう美しくもがくよ」「互いの砂時計眺めながらキスをしようよ」「さよならから一番遠い場所で待ち合わせよう」
Watashi no ai no shochoto shete kono rengu o keto kudasai. Esu anata no soba ne erotu yakusoko soru.
Watashi ga yarimasu. Watashi no ai no socho tosheti kono ringo ketoti kudasai. Ishu anata no soba ne erutu yakusuku suru.
Esu anata no soba ne erotu yakusoko soru.
中で生ぬるいコーラにここでないどっかを夢見たよ教室の窓の外に電車に揺られ運ばれる朝に運命だとか未来とかって言葉がどれだけ手を伸ばそうと届かない場所で僕ら恋をする時計の針も二人を横目に見ながら進む
The Japanese tradition when someone dies. Death and funerals are part of the cycle of life, and at times we must accompany our friends at their darkest moments. Funerals in Japan are a very formal event, and because of the differing religious beliefs, there are many things that you should know before attending one. For the Japanese, funerals are considered strictly formal events, involving rites and practices that may not be common in other countries, especially in the western parts of the world. Being essentially a mixture of Buddhist and Shinto traditional beliefs and customs, the practices attached to the preparation of the dead up to the time they are cremated or buried involve solemn ceremonies meant to offer respect to the deceased as well as comfort to the bereaved family members. Here comes Japanese cultural dance. Dance has a long history in Japan and encompasses many forms. The dances performed in kabuki plays are called Nihonbuyo, Japanese dance, and are widely enjoyed not just by the professional actors but by ordinary people who learn them as a hobby. There are two types of movements in Japanese dance. One comes from Mai, which has its roots in no drama, and the second comes from Odori, which originated in kabuki. In Mai, relatively simple movements such as a slow shuffle and a quickly paced circling of the stage are combined and repeated. The beauty of ancient dances, which were dedicated to the gods, can still be seen in Mai Odori. Kimono are an indispensable element of Japanese dance. Costumes and choreography give form to the moods of the characters. Let's move on to Japanese traditional food culture. The traditional cuisine of Japan is based on rice, with miso soup and other dishes. There is an emphasis on seasonal ingredients. Side dishes often consist of fish, pickled vegetables, and vegetables cooked in broth. Seafood is common, often grilled, but also served raw as sashimi or in sushi. Sushi is the most famous Japanese dish and the first thing people think of when they think of Japanese cuisine. For sushi connoisseurs, it's more than just food. Rice may be at the core of traditional Japanese food culture, but noodles play an important role too. Japanese traditional noodles are in fact soba and udon. Soba, the thin, grayish-brown noodles, are made from buckwheat flour. It's usually served with a dipping sauce, sliced green onions, and wasabi. Japanese Japanese food is a very refined food and it is also a healthy. It is basically a traditional food of Japan. All the dishes of Japan is based on rice and fermented soya bean with other seasonal ingredients. Japanese fish is the very common cuisine which is prepared with almost every dish. In Japanese cuisine, there is mostly all seafood is used. Staple food, and they cook each and every dish with different ways. Some are steam cooked and some are deep fried in the olive oil. Itadakimasu, said before every meal. Itadamikasu means let's eat and is the Japanese equivalent of a prayer. It is actually considered rude not to say itadakimasu before beginning a meal. Japan, like many Asian countries, has food that are exotic to the average American. The essence of a Japanese meal is rice, which is so important that the general word for a meal is gohan, the same word as rice. The Japanese also eat seafood and vegetables, as well as some meat. Description of eating habits in Japan. Historically, Japanese cuisine has been known to have healthy qualities due to the large consumption of fish and vegetables. Rice is a staple food in Japan, and it is eaten at almost every meal. A meal in Japan society goes beyond food because through a meal, people can socialize, build stronger bonds, cooperate, work in teams, and help society to develop. It is also a way to thank gods in rituals. Traditional food in modern society is very important to keep the culture. Japan is a wonderful country. Japanese culture is an ancient and it's filled with rites and tradition to honor the family. Because Japan is an island country, it was able to moderate the influence of other cultures for centuries. This allowed a distinct culture and heritage to develop for the beautiful land of the rising sun. We as caregivers or a student or maybe a worker in different countries, we must respect others' culture. Because culture shapes our identity and influences our behaviors, and cultural diversity makes us accept, and even to some extent, integrate and assimilate with other cultures. Cultural diversity has become very important in today's world. Many times, interacting with people from different cultures helps us view life from a different perspective. When we learn about other cultures, we establish new ways of thinking and approaching and solving problems. Also, the best way to respect people from other cultures is to strike a balance between curiosity and appreciation. Ask questions if your friends are open to it, but also learn how to just silently observe and appreciate the differences that make us unique. Moreover, culture plays an important role in shaping and communicating. Culture provides its members with an implicit knowledge about how to behave in different situations and how to interpret others' behavior in such situations. In fact, Since time immemorial, communication has been an integral part of culture, and as culture advances, the communication patterns of individuals change. Japan's culture and traditions hold great importance in the world because the Japanese are the nation that regained its strength again after an atomic bomb attack in Hiroshima. Japanese people take great pride in preserving their old traditions at the same time. They also keep intact with global lifestyle. We as caregivers, tradition, and cultural awareness helps us break down cultural barriers, build cultural bridges, and learn how to love and appreciate those different from us. We can relate better to people with cultural differences as we begin to understand ourselves better.
Balik.
Tapos, unta, magka-maulian kasi yung mga sala.
Lain mo naman nilabay yung motor. Naman bloopers ay sa muka. Sabi.
Ay, katawa ba?
Ay, kabalo na kon sa yaw mo ban. Wash your hands. Katong. Sige. Oh.
Katawag ko ito.
Mag burial yan halata. Linya ta.